Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is lecture number 20th. The name of the paper is Criticism 1. The book we are studying is Aristotle's Poetics, and the topic is the origin of poetry according to Aristotle. This lecture is specifically for the students of BS English 5th semester GDC PUBI, and it is also for the students of those colleges which are affiliated with Abdul Wali Khan University. This is the topic, origin or birth of poetry according to Aristotle, or as it is mentioned in Poetics. Aristotle believed that everything we create is the demand of our nature, or that everything man has created was the demand of his nature, of human nature. Man created religion. Well, remember, this is not my idea. This is Aristotle telling us. I don't believe that man created religion, because if a man creates religion, this religion would be full of errors, and the books of that religion will also be full of errors. But thank God, our religion is free of such errors, and our book, the Holy Quran, is also free of all errors. It is a perfect book written by perfect power. So you can see that these are the ideas of Aristotle we are discussing. So he thought that a human being created religion because in his nature was the ability to worship, and he is a kind of worshipping animal, as we have already discussed it. Then human being has created different types of governments, and it is so because once again it is in the nature of human beings that he is a political animal, so he makes governments. And there are two views. Some people think that all the institutions of man are natural. It was in the nature of human beings to create these institutions. Otherwise, he would not have created them. And there is another view that they are not natural, that they are the accidents of history, that in history someone did something and it was then followed by the other people, and that it is not the workings of the nature of human beings. However, Aristotle gives different reasons for the birth of poetry, why a human being created poetry, why was poetry written, what was the function behind this, what was the reason behind making poetry, writing poetry. So these are the different reasons. The first reason is, as we know, poetry is art, and all art is imitation. So poetry is also imitation, and human being is an imitative animal. Human being is a rational animal, but he is also an imitative animal, because we can see that all the children imitate things. They imitate the elderly people by making homes in sand, and they love to imitate and they enjoy to imitate other things. This imitation is in the nature of human beings, and he enjoys this type of imitation. The urge of imitation is inborn in human being. It is in our nature that we imitate things. So therefore, as imitation is natural to human being, he created something which is imitation, poetry. This is the first reason. The second reason is again based on the idea that something is inborn in us, and that inborn characteristic is that human being takes pleasure in imitation. When human being imitates something or someone, he is happy with that imitation and he enjoys it. So this is another natural characteristic of a human being. As a result, Man finds pleasure in imitating even those things which are ugly or painful. For example, in tragedy, some painful thing is imitated, but even that gives a special type of pleasure. And a painter might paint or imitate ugly things, but those ugly things also are a source of pleasure for the painter as well as for the onlookers, for the watchers. So even painful things, if imitated, they can give pleasure, a special type of pleasure, and ugly things can also be the source of pleasure if they are imitated. So this is that second reason. The first was that it is in the nature of man that he is imitative animal. Therefore, he created poetry, which is imitation. Human beings takes pleasure in imitation, and poetry is imitation. So he took pleasure in creating poetry, and therefore he created it. This is the origin. The third reason is that when someone imitates something, that thing is made more easier to understand. If somebody, that is the artist, imitates something, let's say for example he writes novel and he imitates whatever is happening in the society, and he gives you the morals or he gives you the themes. Those themes, as you have already studied in the second semester, those themes make things easy for us to understand. They give us good advices how to live life. So the thing then it becomes easy to understand. And the artist, as Wordsworth also said, is a man among men, talking to men in language which is used by the man. And however, this poet has higher sensibilities as compared to the ordinary man. The sensibilities are there in ordinary man too, but he has them in greater amount, and as a result, he feels things more emphatically. Uh, 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 Due to this, he can give us and he can imitate things which he makes easy for us to understand. Therefore, when he creates a man, the poet, then he talks about the essential things. He does not concentrate on the non essential ideas that is left out, and he concentrates on the essentials. And as he imitates, he adds to our knowledge. Our knowledge is increased with that. So the poet uh, imitates things, and by imitating, he is making it easy for us to understand them because he has spent time with them and he has removed the unessential parts, and as a result that thing also becomes interesting to us. That man becomes interesting for us because the concentration is on the essentials, not on the non-essential characteristics. So you can see now the first reason is that man is by nature an imitative animal, so he imitates and he creates poetry. The second is that he takes pleasure in the work of imitation, and he takes pleasure in writing poetry. Therefore, even the ugly and painful things are imitated and they give pleasures. So, this is the second reason. The third is that imitation adds to our understanding. Things becomes easy for us to be understood. And the fourth reason is that human beings naturally take pleasure in rhythm and melody. They like rhythm and they like melody, and you know that poetry also has rhythm and melody. This rhythm and melody is found in words, and the source of rhythm and melody is meter, because poetry is metrical composition. Poetry or poems are written in meters. Therefore, rhythm and melody, as they are enjoyed by human beings, therefore they created poetry so that they enjoy it, and those who read or hear that poetry is they are also amused and they enjoy them. So it is a kind of source of pleasure for us, and it was the demand of human nature to write poetry. These were the different reasons we discussed for the origin or the birth of poetry, why human beings started writing poetry, because it was in their nature to do so. Imitation is in their nature. Therefore, he is an imitative animal. He takes pleasure in imitation, and imitation adds to our understanding. And human beings takes pleasure in rhythm and melody. थोड़ा सा इसको उर्दू में सुन लें। हमने ये पढ़ा है कि पोइट्री की ओरिजिन क्या है, क्यों इंसान ने पोइट्री लिखनी शुरू की। तो ये जवाब हमें अरिस्टोटल देता है कि इंसान चूंकि इसकी नेचर में चीज़ें मौजूद हैं, जैसे वर्शिप इसकी नेचर में है, तो इसने रिलीजन क्रिएट किया। ज़ाहिर है ये हमारे लिए एक गलत बात है कि हम ये कहें कि मैन ने रिलीजन क्रिएट किया। मैन अगर रिलीजन क्रिएट करेगा तो फिर वो यूनानी रिलीजन ही की तरह होगा, जिसमें बेशुमार गाड्स हों, और या फिर वो इंडियन रिलीजन की तरह होगा, जिनके गाड्स भी उन्होंने बदशक्ल बनाए हैं, खुद बनाए हैं, और किसी गाड का सूंड है, तो किसी गाड को खाला बनाया हुआ है जिसके 50 हाथ हैं। तो अगर मैन क्रिएटेड रिलीजन होगा तो फिर तो इसी तरह होगा। हमारा बिलीफ ये नहीं है कि मैन क्रिएटेड रिलीजन। रिलीजन परफेक्ट है और इसको परफेक्ट पावर ही बना सकता है। तो ये अरिस्टोटल की बात है, कहता है इंसान वर्शिपिंग एनिमल है, इसने रिलीजन क्रिएट किया। ये पॉलिटिकल एनिमल है तो इसने गवर्नमेंट्स क्रिएट किए। अब चूंकि ये इमिटेटिव एनिमल भी है तो इसने इमिटेशन के लिए पोइट्री लिखी है। तो ये हमने पढ़ा और इसकी चंद रीज़न पढ़ी। पहली वजह, इंसान ने पोइट्री इसलिए लिखी कि इंसान इमिटेटिव एनिमल है और ये इमिटेशन में प्लेजर लेता है। ये इसकी इनबॉर्न क्वालिटी है, बच्चे इमिटेट करते हैं चीज़ों को और बड़े भी करते हैं, तो इसलिए इसने पोइट्री लिखी जो कि इमिटेशन ही है। दूसरा ये कि इंसान को इमिटेशन में मज़ा आता है और इसी वजह से उसको पोइट्री में मज़ा आया क्योंकि पोइट्री भी इमिटेशन है। यहाँ तक कि इमिटेशन अगली और पेनफुल चीज़ों की भी प्लेजर देता है। कोई अगर पेंटर अगली चीज़ भी बनाता है किसी मकसद के लिए तो वो भी प्लेजर देता है, और ट्रेजेडी में पेनफुल इवेंट्स को बताया जाता है लेकिन वो भी प्लेजरेबल है। आप ड्रामे देखते हैं टीवी पर, वो उसमें गम की बातें भी होती है, फिर भी प्लेजरेबल है। तो इस वजह से चूंकि ये प्लेजरेबल है, इंसान ने पोइट्री लिखी। तीसरी वजह कि ये इमिटेशन हमारी नॉलेज में इजाफा करता है। जब आप इमिटेशन को पढ़ते हैं, जैसे नावल को पढ़ते हैं या स्टोरी को पढ़ते हैं, ट्रेजेडी को पढ़ते हैं, तो आप उससे चीज़ें समझ जाते हैं कि दुनिया में कैसे बिहेव करना चाहिए। तो ये हमारी नॉलेज में इजाफा करता है इमिटेशन, इसलिए इंसान ने इमिटेशन शुरू की, पोइट्री लिखी। चौथी और आखिरी वजह ये कि इंसान मेलोडी और रिदम में एंजॉय करता है, और चूंकि पोइट्री में मेलोडी और रिदम वर्ड्स में मौजूद होता है मीटर की शक्ल में, तो इस वजह से इंसान ने पोइट्री लिखनी शुरू की। So that's all about the origin of poetry by Aristotle. Thank you and good luck.